Hey everyone. Um, Today I'm going to be answering certain questions that I have been getting. Yeah, so I've been getting a couple of questions in the comments, and some of these questions are not so easy to answer in one sentence or in two sentences. So I'm going to be doing that work of answering these questions today. And so with me, I have um, a few questions to answer for everyone who is looking into growing as a virtual assistant. So let us get started. So I'm going to start by answering the first question that Precious asked, so to speak. Yes, she said, knowing how to get started as a virtual assistant. I've said this many times. I've said this times without numbers. Um, And I actually asked her, okay, what is your primary focus now? And she said her primary focus is to learn a skill. Okay, her primary focus is to learn a skill, and she needs to get started. Now, for someone who's still trying to learn a skill, for someone who is trying to figure out how to get started, I would advise you do a virtual assistant course. You do a virtual assistant course, and the next thing you're going to do is to go and create a gig on Fiverr. Let me tell you the truth about being a virtual assistant. It's not so easy to get clients, right? Especially if you're looking for clients who are not in Nigeria. It's not easy. But you need to at least equip yourself a little bit. Just know basic skills. Basic skills like social media, basic skills like admin skills like email, calendly, and research. Research is a very big skill because most of the times these people don't have time to go ahead and do all of the research like that they need to do with their business. So they need someone to take that time out and do that research. So if you know how to do research, you know how to browse something online, like competitive analysis and all of those things, then it's somewhere. If you already know how to do these things, then it's something to start with. And then the next thing you want to do is to create a gig online. That gig, right, is what to serve as the your first step, right? So while you're doing that gig, you pitch to your client, the clients that you meet, that okay, you also a virtual assistant, you also know how to do this, you also know how to do that. That is how I do. Like that's mostly what I do. I have a gig when I was on Fiverr. You all know that I recently got disabled on Fiverr. But when I was on Fiverr, I had a gig that I was doing, right? It had nothing to do with I want to be your virtual assistant, right? But when clients now come on for me to, do that gig for them, I'm now going to tell them, oh, some of them already asked me, do you do other things apart from this? And I'm like, oh, yes, I do event management, I do project management, I do this, I do that. And they're like, oh, I would like your services. Or I do strategy, I do this, I do that. I would like your strategy. So for Precious, this is what I would like you to look into. I'd like you to look into getting one or two skills already set and going ahead to create your gig. All right, no problem. So we are on to the next question that I saw here from the people that filled my form. That's where I'm getting this question. The next question is from Namakula. Sorry if I didn't get your name right. And she said her problem is finding authentic jobs. I just mentioned this now. And she said her major focus now is to develop skills. Now, I just mentioned how you can get jobs. This is how I do it. You have that first gig that you put on Fiverr. Now, when clients come on, you pitch yourself to them. The current clients that I'm doing sort of project management for, right? Well, one of my clients that I'm working with right now, I was doing some other thing for her in the in this niche of event management. But then after we were done, I was like, how about I just mention this to her? And then I was like, oh, I sent in an email. I wish I can find that email now. I sent her an email. Hey, this. Oh, I loved the way we work together. I also am a virtual assistant, and I have skills doing this and that and that. Would you be interested in any of our services? And then I'll be able to send you my CV and portfolio. And she said, oh, wonderful. And we've been working for 2 months now. Right? We've been working for 2 months. So that's one way of getting clients, but it's not going to be easy for you. That's why I always say go on to Fiverr. Okay. So I'm also going to be answering questions from the comment section. Next question I'm going to be answering from my um form is from Queenette. Queenette said her biggest problem right now is resume. I'm just going to say this. Forget about resume for now. Focus on skills. Okay. Forget about resume. Focus on the skills that you are trying to grow. Forget about resume. Focus on skills. So my next question, especially if you are beginning, right? Sometimes they ask you for resume, then you can come up with something. But if they don't, just y- your resume is, if you have something to put in the resume, that your resume will look well, right? So if you still don't have anything to put, and focus on learning certain skills. I talked about the tools in some of my videos, or one of my videos. I talked about the tools that you can learn, and so you can go and learn all of those tools. Then I also talked about these little things that you should actually know how to do. So far, you don't really need to go and learn a project management course if you don't have the money right now. You can just um plan a project. I always say talk about planning a project. Plan a project. So in the last 2 years, I had done two projects. I had done They were events basically. I organized events in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child, right? Seems like nothing. But then those things taught me how to. And so if I'm going to apply for any job that has to do with events management, I'm definitely going to put those two things as my projects. So the next question I'm going to be answering right now is from okay, from who now? I'm trying to get questions that are actually not easy to answer, okay? Someone is saying they are looking for a job. I already answered the question about how to get a job on Fiverr. I already did that. Um, I already did something on that. Okay. So my next question is, she said, in one of your videos you mentioned setting up a profile. I don't want to assume, would you be so kind to let me know what exactly I need to do? So it means that the person doesn't know what Fiverr is. That's the reason why they don't understand what setting up a profile is. So Fiverr is a freelance platform that most freelancers use. It has an easy barrier of entry. So most people are actually making it while on the platform. Meanwhile, there are other freelance platforms that you can have, and I usually recommend Fiverr because it's actually easy to start. So basically, you need to create a profile, like sign up. That's what it means. But they don't just tell you to sign up, put in your email. They ask you further questions. So those questions constitute your profile. And then after creating that profile, the next thing you need to do is to create a gig. The gig creation part is the difficult part. Me, I know, right? The signing up part is very easy. It's just answer a bunch of questions. Now, for the gig creating part, I already made a video. It was a live video. It was I know people have watched that video a lot of times. So that video is very helpful. I showed you how I actually create a video, a gig, a Fiverr gig. So if you have questions on that, you can answer. So feel free to ask any questions though. I'm just going to be here. Okay, so my next question right now is mm, would you be willing to set up from scratch? No, 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 no. I'm sorry. You have to figure it out yourself. I don't do those type of services. It's not that difficult. People think these things are difficult. It's not that difficult. They're all in English, and I feel like once you just put your mind to it, you are going to get it. Um, so people have asked me how do they find these virtual assistants communities. There are a lot of them online. They are basically websites that right? So you just go online and I know Virtual Survey has a community of virtual assistants, right? I think Erin Booth has a community, but I know that those are like white people community, no offense, but we know that as black people we have certain disadvantages and certain advantages. So I'm saying that I'm looking into creating a community, and people who are interested to just fill the form in my link, in my description, in my profile. And when the community is set, I will let you know. Right now, I think I have about 13 people who have filled that form. And so that's where we are. So back to interesting questions. Now, someone asked the questions that I apply for jobs mostly in Indeed, but I don't get response. What should I do? So this question came from Messi. So you need to understand the type of jobs you're applying for. I don't know whether they are Nigerian jobs. I don't know whether they are foreign jobs, like jobs in the US. But if there are jobs outside of Nigeria and you are in Nigeria or you are in any African country, I understand that there are a lot of Nigerians and Kenyans on my channel. So, say you are in any of the African countries and you're applying for jobs outside of Nigeria on Indeed and LinkedIn and any other job board like that. You want to take note of the type of job that is. Is it a part-time job? Is it a full-time job? Is it a contract job? Full-time jobs and part-time jobs you will not get. The reason is not because of you, it's because of the law. You need to have social security number. You see those social security number that we watch in movies, right? You need to have them before they are actually able to give you a full-time job, sign contracts and all of that. But people who are outside the country, who do not reside in those countries, do not have that, number. So it's impossible for you to get those type of jobs. So what you look out for is contract jobs. Now, these contract jobs might not always be publicized on this platform. That is why I'm saying Upwork, Fiverr, and certain other freelance platforms always have this type of jobs, because people who come there understand that we can hire full-time staff while looking for contract staff. So, but this contract now might depend. So you might be working for someone who will tell you that, okay, I want you to work for me from now. A client of mine said, I want you to work for me from now up until October on this particular project. Now, I'm going to be working every day of the week for her for a number of hours, but it's still contract. It's not a full-time job, right? Because she doesn't need to pay me full-time. I'm not an employee of her organization. I am just a contract staff. So you need to understand this is why you are probably not getting jobs on LinkedIn, on Indeed, and all of those platforms. Feel free to ask any question in the comment section and I will answer. Okay. So let us answer the next question. Next question. Next question. So the next question is from Kofoworola. Sorry if I didn't answer your name. I didn't pronounce your name with Kofoworola. And he said, I always don't get a response to my proposals slash applications. It's all related to what I'm talking about now. It's all related to what I'm talking about now. It's all related to what I'm talking about now. I'm saying, what type of jobs did you apply for? Did you apply for full-time jobs? Did you apply for contract jobs? Did you apply for if you apply for those other two, full-time and part-time, they will not get back to you because you are not even in their radar. Okay, but geographically. But if you apply for contracts, then you're highly likely going to get a response. The other things that you're now going to make sure you get right is the resume. What things did you put on your resume? The projects you put on your resume or you worked on your resume, are they related in some way with the job you're applying for? So Bernard in the comment section said, what types of virtual assistants? So there are different types of virtual assistants that I've probably mentioned. It depends on what you want to work for. Now, what I told a friend of mine recently, was it yesterday? A friend that I just met through YouTube. And I told her in the beginning, I don't encourage you to niche down. Although you know where you want to get to, you know the type of virtual assistant you want to be, but don't entirely niche down in the beginning. The reason is because you're not even sure of the type of jobs you will get. You're not sure the clients you will meet. So just say you're a general virtual assistant. When you meet clients that want so and so thing, work with them, understand most people hate things that they've not even tested. They don't even know how it tastes like and they already hate it. So work with them and understand what it means to work with them. Gain that experience and maybe decide that you don't want to. For example, one thing I've told my clients that I don't do is social media. I have tried it. I've tried being a social media manager in my early days as a virtual assistant, and it just didn't work out well for me. A lot of times that in on Instagram, I'm not here to talk about that, right? But then we all for people who want to be virtual social media managers, um, you know that Instagram is best if you signed in as the account holder and not working through later.com and all of that. Reels are best if you actually do the research and find the trending sounds and all of that. All of those things are difficult to do or difficult to get if you are using a third party app. Okay. So and we all know that reels are what gets attraction now and not the other, not posting pictures and all of that, especially for new accounts. And so it has always not given me the results that I want when I work with clients. So I entirely said, you know what, I'm not going to go and learn how to do this. I'm just going to stay away from this type of virtual assistant job. So at this point, I can choose, right? So I know that this is not what I want to do. But in the beginning, I did everything. I helped someone for her product launch, for her book launch. I helped someone for their meetings. I helped someone for social media. I helped someone with data entry. There is nothing that I did not do in the beginning. But at some point I decided, you know what, I'm going to branch, I'm going to specialize. So in the beginning, just be a virtual assistant. Bernard, I hope I answered your question. Just be a general virtual assistant, and along the line, you decide on what you want to do. But to answer again, we have social media virtual assistants, they are the admin virtual assistants, they are the events ones, they are so many types. They are this, did I mention social media? They are the content creators virtual assistants or content management. I mean the blogs, people who write blogs and all of that. That's a very beautiful niche that actually pays well. So I hope I answered your question, Bernard. So I'm going to go over to the next question. I've already spent 20 minutes. I don't want to go over 45 minutes for this today's live. And the question is from Maxi. And Maxi said that her biggest problem is lack of experience. Her biggest problem is lack of experience. Okay. And she wants to actually transition into full-time remote jobs. Okay. I want to transition into full-time remote jobs and advance my career in the field of virtual assistance and expand into project management ultimately. Yeah, I like that. That's a good plan that you have, okay? But the problem you hear, as you mentioned, is that you lack experience. Experience can be gotten the two easiest way to get experience. One, create a project. Two, intern for somebody. Look out for the strategy that I wanted to use for my business, my virtual assistant business that I said I'm building, was interning for people. If I didn't have clients at some point, I will offer free services to people because I know that if I do well offering free services, they will retain me. So you can either create a project, since ultimately you want to do project management. Maybe what type of projects you want. There are two types, two broad categories of project management: the traditional one and the agile one. So if you want to do create a campaign, combine efforts with a social media manager, decide that okay, guys are going to create a campaign to promote so and so and so. You combine with a social media manager who also wants experience. You are the project manager of the project. Look for some other person, maybe a designer who is also going to design Kineko for people. Create a social media page for the three of you people. Run this campaign. Plan. You are the project manager. Plan your run this campaign for 2 months. So you create a project plan. That's what project managers do. Look for what the project managers do. Create a project plan for 2 months. How do you plan to start? What is every member of your team doing? Because you can't be a project manager without a team. You are managing people and resources. So you need to have a team. So when you create this thing, who will you join forces with to create this campaign? What are they going to do? Put them down, create a roadmap, create a plan, create and document all of these things, right? Because at the end of the day, when you are creating your portfolio, those are the things you're going to tell people. Oh, I did this. I came up with the idea. I found this I found this problem, and I came up with this idea to solve it. And we had 5 people in my team, and this we created a roadmap to solve so and so problem, and we implemented this problem, and these were the results we got. Whether they are good results or bad results, the result is results. And you say, okay, these were the results we got. At the end of the day, 5 people signed up, or at the end of the day, 20 people signed up, which means, or 20 people did not sign up, or 20 people said this, 20 people did not say that. That is how to create your portfolio. Create something that shows an experience that you've had. Okay, so I know that it's not as easy as I said it is, but that's what project managers do. And that's how you create it. If you can't do all of that, look for someone who is a business owner that you can intern with, and try to tell the person that these are the skills you want to learn while working with the person. So the person doesn't give you marketing jobs. Meanwhile, you want to do um, project management. They don't give you things that are outside of the scope you want to remain in. Okay, so I hope I answered that question. So we're going to close this live in 6 minutes. Okay, so the next question I'm answering is from Faith. Faith says her problem is getting clients to hire me. That's the biggest problem she's having. So does it mean that you actually going through interviews, right? You actually get to the interview stage. It's just that you're not able to convince them to hire you. So being able to convince them to hire you is a different skill. Like going into an interview is a different skill. Smile. If you have very nice smile, make sure you have you're equipped with the type of projects you have worked on before and the results you got from and the role you played while working on that job. Because the tricky thing about being a virtual assistant is that the tricky thing is that when virtual assistants work, most times they give us small tasks, they give us small roles that at the end of the day we just do a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. We are not really, we can't really say for sure, okay, this, we did a whole lot of things. Although those things we did were small, they actually took time. For example, research. It actually takes time to research. It takes skills to get results out of your research, right? But then when you want to report, put it in a document that okay, this is what it might just take up just one sentence and all of that. So when you're presenting yourself as for what you did, or when you're even while you're doing internship, try to know a little bit of what others do, a little bit more information about the thing you're working on, so that you'll be able to say, okay, this was the problem we found, this was the things we did, this was my role, the role I played, and this was the outcome. You see, it's a complete sentence now, right? So that is that. The next question is coming from Rosemary, and Rosemary said, "Don't know how to go about becoming one. Information on the online space is overwhelming for me." Yeah, yes, I know being a virtual assistant is not easy. It's like everybody's saying how to be a virtual assistant, how to be a virtual assistant, and yet after watching the video, you just didn't get anything. Well, you have to take one step at a time. You can watch my videos. I recently did a video because I noticed that it's easier if you put everything in a timeline, right? So I recently did a video that said how to become a virtual assistant in 2 weeks, right? And I said, okay, in the first week, this is what you do. In the second week, this is what you do. In the third week, you should watch that video. I think it will help you better, since at least it will help guide you to some extent. Okay, the next question. What time? What time? 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay. So the next question we have is from Munirat. Munirat said she's not getting a response back. I think I've answered this type of question earlier, so I'm going to go into another question. I'm going to go into another question right now. So maybe I can look for questions on the comment section. Okay, okay, okay. So, I know, I think I have a lot of people who are new into the VA community. So I actually understand the confusion. I understand the confusion, especially because there are a lot of people who are saying so much about being a VA, but they're not giving out actual tangible information. I hope to be able to give out tangible information to everyone here. So someone said, "Hi Onyinye, just came across your video today. I must commend your dedication and commitment to your work. I'm a new virtual assistant without any portfolio, but I have experience as an administrative assistant. Beautiful. I don't know if you offer mentorship programs or you're available to mentor, because I am actively looking for someone to learn from." So what you need right now, very good, you already have experience, right? that experience is what you will bring up into your portfolio. Portfolio is not anything different, you guys. So what you need now is internship, or that is free internship if you can find. I doubt you find paid internship, but what you need now is to create a, you already have experience, so you just need to go and create a Fiverr profile. Please create a gig, create a Fiverr profile, and be patient. Within, I'm telling you, if you follow my method, 3 months you've got, and once Fiverr is, once you get a gig, right, things start becoming easy for you. Okay, guys, it's 30 minutes. I'm going to round this off. Thank you so much for everyone who came into the live. Thank you, Bernard, for and asking questions. I appreciate. I appreciate. So thank you so much, you guys. I think that will be that for now. I don't want to make it a very long live since it's not a tutorial, but I hope I was able to answer most of your questions. I answered up to 8 questions from my form and some questions from the comment section. And I'm glad that we all made it today. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.